G'day everybody. There was a post on a little while back about a person trying to put a car fridge in the back of a ute and to have solar panels put on there. And there was a few negative response out of people. I'll tell you what I've done and you can go from there. I've got, this is my Ford Ranger, and I've got a huge 90 litre fridge freezer. It's actually two compartments. You can either use one as a fridge, one as a freezer, or both as a refrigerator, or both as freezers. They're independent of each other. Now, the reason why I've got this one is, as you can see, I've got this roller shutter, goes backwards and forwards, and I needed something to have the clearance. And this one here, I'm not trying to promote anything, but I've got this one from Kings, and it's the only one I could find that was low enough to put inside here. And even then, I had to take the bottom part of the feet off just to give me that 10mm clearance to drop it down even further. Now, you're saying, oh, it probably needs ventilation, but it's sitting on these plastic runners that go inside the tub and that. And one thing I didn't want to do was to screw it down on the plastic, because I want to sell a car down the track and I don't want to sell it full of holes. So I've actually duct taped it, like duct tape. And that seems to hold it really well. Now, running with that, I have, I've got a separate battery, a deep cell, and this one's only 100 AGM. Now again, I've got this from Kings. And I tell you what, it works an absolute bloody treat. If I switch the power on, 13.2 volts. That's perfect. Now, also with that, I've got up here is my solar panel. Now this one I had lying around the house, and it's one of those folding ones. Now this is a 250 watter, and that pumps out about 13.5 amps, and that. Even on a cloudy day, you're still going to get, you're going to still get at least 8 to 10 amps out of it. So, and that's running back inside the system. And that, and also as a backup, we'll go at the front of the car. I've got this dual battery system, which is off Kings as well, and this is the whole little unit. And all it is you've got a cable that running off the battery straight down the front into this unit, and I've routed this down underneath the car, back over this way, up through the tub, and it's inside here, and it goes inside the battery box. Now, I've had this fridge on, I haven't switched it off in 2 weeks, and it hasn't shut down at all. Now, the thing you've got to understand is with fridges is they work on this one. When I've noticed it from cold start, from pulling it out of the box, and if you switch it on max, it'll draw 6 amps per hour. But you think about it, it's not going to take you an hour to come up to the temp that you want, which is, let's say, freezing point. It'll probably take about 20 minutes to half an hour if your room temperature is, say, 25 degrees. Now, if you go in eco mode, it goes down to 4 amps per hour. And after that, it goes on trickle cycle, and then it only draws something like about 3/4 of an amp. But what I've noticed is, if you leave it on eco mode, what it does is it switches on and off. Once you get to temp, it'll go to the temp you want, and when it switches itself on, it only stays on for about 5 to 10 minutes maximum. And it'll probably do that 2 to maybe 3 times every hour. So every hour it will draw, if you add those times up, it'll be about half an hour at 4 amps per hour, which is actually 2 amps total. And then it'll go in a trickle cycle, and that other half hour, when I said it goes at 3/4 of an amp per hour, that is something like about 0.4 of an amp. So it all up, it's 2.5 amps per hour. And that's during the day, and that's when it's hot. Even when I've got the roller shutter closed, it still gets fairly warm inside here. There's plenty of ventilation for it, and that's the way it works. So let's say on overnight, and you're looking at 10 hours of darkness, because once the sun comes up about 6 o'clock and once the sun goes down about 8, you've got that 10-hour period where it's got no power off the solar, no power off the car, and let's say you're working on that theory of 2.5 amps, you're only going to draw 25 amps an hour out of the battery. And being 100 AGM, usable power is only 50 amps. So I'm still within that part. Now, mind you, when you in the first bit in the morning, when it goes to power up, the solar panel, these things draw 13 amps. So within the first 2 hours, my battery is fully charged, and it'll stay charged all day, because even though it's throwing 13.5 amps, this thing's only drawing 2.5 amps an hour. So it's got 10 amps, it just pumps in, and then it just goes in trickle mode into the battery, so you never cook the battery. Now, a lot of people say, why have a fridge in the back of the car? Yeah, I've got a caravan. It's not an off-road caravan, it's just like a normal caravan. But if you park the caravan somewhere and you want to go for a day trip, and it's a warm day, where is your cold drinks going to come from? And this is it, And the last thing, and people say, oh, why don't you just have it hooked up to your car caravan system? Look, on the caravan, I've got 750 watts in my solar panels, running on 300 amp hour batteries all up, and I could do that. But imagine you forget the cables attached and you take off, you've yanked the system. This way, I don't want to be yanking nothing. It's all separate. The car's separate from the caravan, the whole lot. I hope this helps out some people. I'm probably going to get some negative, why'd you get that, why'd you get that? Look, I ain't rich, but this is the best I could think of at the time, and it works like a treat. Hope everybody enjoys it.